Hey, welcome to Conversations with the Collective. We are here for our third podcast.
No, I can't even believe it. It's going great.
So I'm Stephanie Bulcock
Jennifer Weaver
with the Collective at Compass, and we have a whole lot of really great stuff we wanted to talk to you today.
Yeah.
Mostly about real estate.
Yes, of course. I can't even believe it's January and it feels like it's flying by. Like seriously.
I know.
It's so crazy.
All right, so the first thing we wanted to talk to you about, we're getting like some crazy, amazing love from Zillow of all people things. Kansas City is named
Kansas City ranked
number 7 in Zillow's top 10 markets in 2023.
Yeah.
So Charlotte, we've got some friends in Charlotte, so hey there.
Yep.
We're ranked number 1, but Kansas City at number 7. We are super stoked that people are finally recognizing that we are not completely just flyover country.
Yep.
That there's a whole lot of really great things going on here.
Right. And the analysis that really went into it, I think people are kind of wondering, hey, what did that happen? I mean, the projections were really based on value appreciation, which we've been saying that has been happening for a very long time in Kansas City. But we weren't inflated. We weren't like crazy inflated like some of the other markets. We were just even and saw some really great appreciation. So that was great to see. The expected change in home value appreciation from 2022 obviously was a factor as well.
Yeah.
And then new jobs per, new housing units permitted were part of it as well.
Right.
And then an estimate of the net number of home owning households based on current demographic needs too.
Yeah. So ultimately when they're looking at this, they're taking a look and seeing what markets are going to experience the best price growth, inventory and velocity, and then, from that buyer demographics, like who's going to be buying.
Totally. And the rate at which homes are sold.
Yeah.
They were seeing that as well. So cool.
So really excited that Kansas City is number 7. So y'all, if you are like worried about what KC real estate, like I'll speak for myself. I'm pretty bullish on KC real estate.
I think so, right?
But, we're really excited to see what's going to come up in 2023 with KC being named as one of the top 7 markets to watch.
But number 1 is so exciting. One of our favorites. Number 1.
So that's the other thing.
Pretty exciting.
The most popular city in 2022. So taking a look back, Zillow Research came in and said, what is everyone looking at? And it's Prairie Village.
Yeah, which was super exciting because they did not pick beaches and sunny, warmer places. It was Prairie Village. And there were some great reasons why, which is exciting because that is an incredible place of home appreciation and affordability is truly in Prairie Village.
Yeah, but it's like, even just like more nationally speaking, it's coming and showing that there's just this great interest in like Midwestern living and Midwestern lifestyle. And, like most of the time it's been like these coastal markets like leading the charge. So our very own Prairie Village, like we are super loving that Zillow is giving us a little bit of nod on, KC being number 7. Prairie Village number 1 for the Zillow's most popular city in 2022. And what's not to love? Like we love Prairie Village.
Well, we do, and we have many clients there. But I think the other thing too, the ratings and what we're seeing in this new year is the homes and the markets that are selling the best are due to affordability.
Oh, for sure.
And we have always had really strong affordability in Kansas City. So it was fun to see those rankings on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, like they've got great restaurants, they've got good parks, they've got the lifestyle, they've got killer real estate. Who doesn't love looking at Prairie Village homes?
Yeah. And the great thing about Prairie Village too is that the price points, I mean, you could find homes in the mid 200s up into
the millions.
So, I mean, really, really great to see. So that lifestyle is something really special here. And so it's nice, as well as the values of the homes continue to just
home
increase
appreciation
all the time. It really, really does. So super cool.
Yep. So thank you, Zillow, for the number 7 for KC, the number 1 for Prairie Village. And, again, we're just like feeling the love. Demand is strong. We are seeing just some really great growth across Kansas City. And, people are coming and seeing and looking and visiting. So
yeah. And really, there's a lot of events coming into Kansas City. Not only great
Right?
businesses, great events coming up.
We got the World Cup coming.
Yeah, so there's some really great things. The draft. I mean, there's some really super, super great things that are really helping boost the economy as well. So.
Okay, Jen. So let's actually talk about it. Like, Valentine's Day is coming up. What are some of the top things that you love about Kansas City?
Well, it's not just Valentine's Day. We have to talk about the Chiefs. I mean, exciting. We are kind of known known for football.
That sports town, it's like the sports town. The Chiefs,
really, Royals,
the Royals, Sporting Kansas City.
Super fun.
We're one of the host cities for the upcoming World Cup. Like,
I mean, it is exciting right now for sports.
Love that we are, really great sports town.
And those are the pro sports, but there's so many great sports activities for kids too. So you gotta love that too.
Talking about the kids, like, what I love about Kansas City is how family friendly it is.
Yes.
I've got 2 kids. They're like a little younger, kind of in that like late elementary, middle school age. Yep. There's just so many fun things for families to do.
Yep.
I love the Kansas City Zoo.
Yep.
Love the zoo.
That's so true. And I would have to say, we have some of the best restaurants.
Me too.
People are starting to realize how great our restaurants are. I mean, we of course are known for barbecue. However, there are so many other great fine dining places here in Kansas City that are really fabulous. And you can find an incredible craft cocktail like no other.
We're like turning into like a little foodie town, which is kind of interesting.
I love
There's some really great new spots popping up across town, as well as just some like, iconic, restaurants that have been around forever to Kansas City.
Yep.
And we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Country Club Plaza is one of our favorite spots around Kansas City.
Yep, absolutely. For dining, shopping, entertainment.
I just love that atmosphere.
It is so awesome.
Yes,
I agree.
What else? Any other faves across KC?
Well, I have to also say, we do love to stage and we love decor, and we have some of the best home furnishing shops in the Midwest. And people wouldn't really necessarily think of us for that, but we really do. Between, Nell Hills, Bella Bees, Nebraska Furniture Mart, well known. I mean, we have some really great places. So pretty cool. Yeah.
Love it. Well, exciting. So thank you for all the love of KC. We probably may want to just acknowledge, though, like Zillow's been giving us some really great nods.
Yeah.
But we kind of have a little love-hate relationship with Zillow.
Yeah. Well, so we have to accept that it is one of the biggest search engines out there with our clients. It is absolutely.
Okay, here's the deal. We get a phone call and someone is like, "Hey, would you talk to us about selling your home?" We walk into your house and we know that you have looked up the Zestimate. It's okay. Like, you don't even need to pretend that you haven't, because we know that you looked it up.
Zestimate. Oh my goodness.
Hard thing is, sometimes the reality is sometimes it can be pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But other times it can be really under.
It's really strange how it just
wildly
flexes so much. Yes, I think you're absolutely right. And I think the other piece, though, that this could be maybe the love-hate, that this is the hate side, is that the unfortunate thing, it's a little bit misleading, where our clients will go on and they'll say, "Hey, I should click on here and click a showing," assuming that is the listing agent that they are going to be talking to. So they're wanting to get information and about the home. And then unfortunately they go and it's, some stranger that they've never met and knows nothing about the house.
And that's the crazy part, is like these people are saying like click a showing and they're expecting the listing agent.
Yeah.
And then we get the phone calls once they actually really figure out who the listing agent is. And sometimes the
it happened to one of my
kind
clients this weekend.
Sometimes the buyer is kind of irritated because they're like, "Oh wait,
what? We thought we were doing the right thing and reaching out to the listing agent and getting information." So
welcome to our soapbox.
A few things that happen, but again, great search engine, and we know it's certainly being used all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the other things, it's new year. We're here in the first quarter, and all of the real estate stats have been coming out. So wanted to really just take a look back onto 2022. 12 months ago, we made some pretty bold predictions with our Magic 8 Ball, where we shook it up trying to see exactly what was going to happen this year. And our key themes that we were talking about was
rates.
Interest rates were going to get higher.
We were saying that, yep. Home appreciation
was still going to be great and banging.
Yep.
And the inventory was going to be tight.
Yeah.
Those were our three big key themes. And so, go us, high five.
Yeah. Right.
We kind of hit that nail on the head.
Yeah. We didn't know exactly what was going to happen at the end of the year, but it was right.
Yeah. Let's take a second and, talk about that because, appreciation in 2022, we hear all these things on the national scale about what the heck's going on. But, KC, we've still seen
Strong
some really great appreciation. It got, with rising interest rates, it definitely cooled off some of the buyer demand later in the year. Mm-hmm. But, we see some really great numbers.
Yeah.
Clay County had a 14.1 increase in appreciation throughout 2022.
Yeah, Cass County was at 13.8, so almost 14, as well as Platte right behind them.
And then Johnson was 13.4% appreciation.
Strong. Yeah.
So y'all, Kansas City real estate is still looking pretty darn good.
Yeah, those are some really great stats. And we should also just talk about the number one zip code too, being 64130.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of growth there. So super excited to see what this new year will bring too.
I know.
We're seeing a lot of movement too out in the outlying areas too. Leavenworth was was ranking 5th. I'm seeing a lot of people.
I think that's kind of key though, is that people as they as Kansas City just keeps growing, you have to start focusing more on the peripherals. We're seeing a lot of movement up in the Northland, on the west side of the town, east side, south side. That's where the growth is happening because that's where we're seeing new growth come in.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. So we looked at 2022. Jen, what do you think are going to be some of the biggest themes that we're going to see coming up for 2023?
Well, we've already started to see it, but rates are going to go down.
Okay.
So that I do definitely think is going to happen.
And again, it's we don't
not
have
3 or 4%. Those days are gone.
Those days are totally gone. Yeah. But you know what? Pretty soon, we're hoping that maybe by mid-year we're going to see a rate in the 5 again, which would be amazing.
Let's cross our fingers on that.
I know. And we really love those, economists and market researchers that are, saying that, that rates are going to kind of start coming down. So we are ready for it. Mm-hmm. But the reality is that I think here in Kansas City, we're probably still going to see a shortage of inventory.
Yeah, I think that would be definitely what we're seeing already.
It's kind of just that compounding challenge where we still don't have enough homes to meet the need.
Right. And I think that when everyone is there'll be less people out, the competition I think is going to remain high. I think we're really going to see that. And we are seeing that too, because a good home is definitely going to sell with multiple offers and with multiple buyers because they are still out there. The demand is still very high.
Yeah, and it's hard probably for people that are watching this to understand okay, you guys are just talking about that, but real life real estate is we are having homes that are having dozens and dozens and dozens of showings.
Yep.
Open houses where it is a revolving door.
Yeah.
So it's right now it's before the spring season, but yet there's just this great pent up demand.
Right. Yeah.
And buyers are coming in now to say all right, I'm coming in. I know that rates are, going to come down.
They're seeing that little bit of hope, which the rates are going
down.
The glimmer of hope with the rates going down.
Yes.
And it helps. I mean, basically it's just looking at affordability in a different way. But I think, the other prediction is I think we're seeing hopefully that inflation has peaked. We're hoping.
Yeah.
And that we're going to see that eventually go down as well.
Yeah.
So that I think we'll see. And then I would also say that one piece that was predicted last year a little bit was that we were going to see home appreciations go down. And although they have cooled a tad, we're not seeing a huge drop. So I think that could be something that we're going to look at this year too, because I think it's really still very strong.
Yeah. Love Keeping Current Matters had a quote the other day that was just saying, with a 6% interest rate instead of 7%, buyers are paying about $2,700 less every year on their mortgage. And as a result, owning a home becomes more affordable to 1.4 million more renters, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then it allows other homeowners, another 4.3 million homeowners, gives them the ability to buy. So after a year of some volatility, that this year is going to be a breath of fresh air for the real estate market a bit.
And I think, you just brought up a really great point. I think another thing that we're going to see this year, and we are seeing as well, is that the rents. I mean, the rentals. I mean, there's just not even enough. So we are needing more rentals, and we are seeing that the rents continue to increase. And so again, if you're on an investor side, it's really good to buy, and invest in your portfolio.
Yeah. Since we're talking about like rentals and investing in portfolios, and we love working with investors, something that's kind of like new, not new, but like we haven't seen it as much here, but the number of people that are doing short-term rentals right now in Kansas City, it is like kind of exploding, and I'm excited to like watch it happen, because
we have multiple clients that are interested in finding out more about it and doing
it very successfully today.
Yeah.
The interesting piece is that, KC is like putting in some regulations where they're requiring that they're all licensed.
You definitely have to do your homework on it, for sure.
But the reality is that like people would prefer to come in and rent a home, whether it's through Airbnb, Vrbo, like there's a whole lot of platforms that are coming in, but like super successfully able to come in where, people can rent a house or a condo, and you just, instead of a hotel, which people
are loving it. Yes. And I think, again, it's what we talk about with homes as well. It depends on location, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so there are some prime locations that people are just loving that Airbnb and that option, and to be able to see a little bit of Kansas City, but not being in a hotel. So yeah, I'll be excited to see it too.
I know. Super excited to see how this evolves. And I really, really hope, like nationwide, they're kind of like crunching down on short-term rentals a lot in many of the top markets where they're like, it's becoming like heavily regulated. So I hope like as KC is kind of like really like getting its like feet wet in this market and more emerging in it. I don't want it to stop.
I know.
Like I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Especially when we talk about like, supply and demand of like, houses to rent and just not having enough out there and places to sleep, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and we talked a little bit about that being a risk. We were talking about that earlier. Could it be a risk? But ultimately, if for any reason that market changes a little bit and the short-term rentals change, you have a great house to sell or rent, like full to real,
If the short-term rental gig
you go
stops,
right into,
then you go into a long-term rental.
Or you can sell because it'll be great.
Or flip it. Because, again, supply and demand. We still don't have enough homes
we
to meet the
supply.
need in Kansas City. Ultimately, it's wild, too, because there's so many people that are hearing things on the national news that just aren't really representative of what we are seeing and feeling here in Kansas City. So it's been really hard for us agents because we feel like we've been like having to correct a lot of it to say, oh my gosh, what you're hearing is maybe a major metro that's more of a boom bust market.
Right. Those markets are the ones that are cooling down.
Of course. But Kansas City is number 7 on top markets to watch this year. So we are expecting another great year of growth. Buyer demand isn't going anywhere.
No, I mean, we're starting out the new year just on fire. I mean, it is, 1 month in, and pretty darn exciting to see.
Can I tell you what scares me though? Like what worries me literally
if we're in January and what'll happen in the spring market.
Honestly, a little bit. Like, we don't have enough supply. So, like, we still need sellers to sell, and having people come in, pricing their homes properly, and then, also getting some new build inventory. But in order for the market to move, you have to have sellers need to sell, buyers need to buy, and builders need to build. And so what worries me is if we enter
catch up.
If we can't catch up, we won't have enough supply, and then it's going to be this whole like shortage again and again. And
I mean, we've been in that shortage for some time, there's no doubt. But I think there's a piece to education, of course, with our clients. And I think that, everyone kind of, some sellers think that they should just wait till a spring market. But ultimately, the best time to sell is truly in January, in February, because there is less competition out there. And you are going to get the most amount of money for your home right now. in the next couple of months.
I'm a good fan of like listing after Valentine's Day, before like between Valentine's Day and the end of March, because you're kind of on that front side of the spring market. And I love being a price setter, not a price follower.
It's really good. So we're seeing some really great trends. And I think that's where we need to just educate and get everyone to understand, like, here's the time to go.
Yeah. So guess what though? Sellers, if you're thinking about selling your home, it's okay.
Yeah.
We are still getting top dollar for your home. And,
multiple offers, over asking. We're getting the terms that we were seeing last year again. Yeah. We're talking, waiving appraisals again, as is, taking them as is.
In certain circumstances.
They are it's happening. So yeah, it's good. It's good to see.
Yeah, now's still a good time to buy.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. That was a whole lot of info that we ran through, lots of opinions, some super exciting stuff.
Yeah.
But thanks for tuning in to Conversations with the Collective.
Talk to you soon.